Hi there, my name's Lynette Cunningham, and I'm excited to get to educate you a little bit on LifeVantage because it has made such a difference in my life and my family's life. So I always get excited when I get to share it with other people. But before I kind of get into the meat and potatoes of what we're going to talk about today, I'd like to just give you a little bit of background on myself and how I found myself here. So it goes back to when I was 26 years old. I was struggling with infertility. And I saw a series of doctors. I was diagnosed with different things. I was prescribed different things. But I realized that none of those things is what my body needed. And I got very frustrated. So I decided to take control of my health. And I did that by seeing an acupuncturist who put me on a blend of some herbs. In 1 year's time, I conceived my son. So when I was introduced to LifeVantage, I already understood the significance of the products and how impactful natural products can be in our health. In addition to that, I was intrigued at the idea of sharing this information with other people as a business. And the reason is that when I was 21, I lost my father in a car accident. And when that happened, my mom, who had been a stay-at-home mom her entire life, was forced to have to try to figure out how she was going to provide financially for herself and my younger brother. When I looked at my life, it was very similar to that of my mom's in that, Brandon and I, my husband, ran our businesses together, but he did the work. He went out and did the labor and oversaw employees and whatnot. I did the books at home. If he wasn't doing the work, I had no books to do at home, which means I would have no income. So I saw LifeVantage as something that we could both do. And if a tragedy occurred in our life, either one of us could continue building the business. You see, I recognize that LifeVantage actually can be a solution because life happens every day to people. Life happens in the way of accidents, sickness, job loss. So I believe that LifeVantage is a solution so that when life happens, you're better equipped to deal with it. So in the next 20 to 25 minutes, I'm going to go over some of the points that were so instrumental to me in making a decision as to whether or not this was a good fit for me. I'm going to talk to you about the products and the science behind the products. I'm going to talk to you about the timing and trends as it relates to the world that we're living in, the company, as well as the compensation. So in order to do these things, what I'd like to do is share my screen with you so that I can go through a PowerPoint and kind of help illustrate some of the things that I'm talking about better. So we're going to be talking about the company LifeVantage. And before I get into it, just to kind of get a disclosure statement out of the way, I am going to talk to you about the income that is being made. And for that reason, I want you to understand you get out of this what you put into it, just like anything else in life, right? So we're going to be talking about flipping the switch on your genes so that you can feel better and do more. The reason that that's important is because we are being attacked daily. Our bodies are being hijacked. And it's happening with the food that we eat, the water that we drink. They're full of heavy metals and pesticides, mineral deposits, poor diet. All of these things can affect the way that we feel. We also personally maybe aren't getting enough sleep. Maybe we're eating foods that aren't as good for us, or drinking things that maybe we shouldn't be, or maybe we just have a lot of stress in our life. All of these different things attack our body. In addition to that, environmentally, there's pollution, sun damage, the technology in our lives. We have EMFs and blue light. All of these things take its toll on our bodies. So we cannot continue to behave the way that our great-grandparents did, or even our grandparents for that matter. It's a different world that we're living in. And all of these things really can get us down and cause us to feel maybe sluggish, where we have brain fog or decreased immune system. Maybe we lack motivation, have elevated stress levels, fatigue. That often is things that we can see going on. But what we may not know that's going on inside is our oxidative stress levels are elevated. The mitochondria has declined and other things. But you guys, science has discovered our body has the ability, it has the genes to be able to repair itself. Just think about when you cut your finger. Within just a couple days time, you can see it healing, right? Well, the same thing can happen inside where we're not seeing it. So if you could leverage those genes with the flip of a switch, would you? Let's start to talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about oxidative stress. Now, if you've never heard of that term, I had not either prior to learning about this, but this apple is a great visual understanding of what oxidative stress is. You know that when you bite open an apple and lay it on the counter, within just a couple hours time, it starts to brown, right? It's oxidizing right before your eyes. Well, the same thing happens on a cellular level. And our body's way of combating that is that it produces antioxidant enzymes. The problem is that as we age, that production begins to decrease. But with the flip of a switch in your NRF2 pathway, we're able to address that oxidative stress. And Protandim NRF2 with 5 plant ingredients reduces oxidative stress levels an average of 40% in 30 days. It's a scientific breakthrough. By taking this product, you can start repairing yourself. Your body can start repairing itself the way that it did when you were in your 20s. Now, Washington State University learned of NRF2 and did their own research. This is what they concluded. It's likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future. NRF2 may become the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health. That's not our company saying it. It's not me saying it. It's Washington State University. As I mentioned, our bodies produce their own antioxidant enzymes, but as we age, that production drops off. And the older we get, you can really see how much it drops off. But by activating that NRF2 pathway with Protandim, you're able to maintain the same level of production as it did when you were 20 years old. You don't have to take my word for it. PubMed.gov is the National Library of Medicine. It houses many, many studies, millions of studies that have been done, but specifically over 25 studies on Protandim, all done by these universities that you're seeing listed here. Harvard, Virginia Commonwealth, LSU, Texas Tech, American Heart Association. As you can see, the list is extensive. They have done the scientific research to validate what I'm sharing with you today. Here's the thing. It's all about the synergy. It's 5 plants in a small dose, but synergistically, they are 18 times more effective than any one of the products taken individually. It's unbelievable. And with this incredible breakthrough in science, we decided to start researching a little bit more to address another theory of aging, and that is in regards to our mitochondrial health. Your mitochondria is kind of like the little battery pack in our cell. It's responsible for our energy. And as we age, it declines. But by activating your NRF1 pathway with a flip of a switch, 5 plants, we're able to upregulate that NRF1 in our bodies by nearly 71%. 70%. I don't know why I said 71. I think because I did this, but it upregulates it 70%, which is incredible. So these 2 products, well, let me say this. By taking the product, you recharge the battery, right? It fills your battery tank back up. But these 2 products taken together work synergistically, and you can actually get them in a dual pack. We call the Protandim Dual Synergizer. So if you're ready to flip the switch, that is the way that you do it. But as you are aware, there's another key element to having overall good health, and that is in regards to your gut health. So I want to highlight our probiotic because not all probiotics are created equal. This probiotic has 6 billion CFUs. In addition to that, It's made with a time-released formula so that it's able to get deep down into your gastrointestinal tract, which is where you want it to get to be most productive. You see, a lot of times probiotics kind of get eaten up by your stomach acids before it ever reaches the end result where you're going to have the most benefit. So it's important for you to realize the significance of this probiotic as well. So these three products together really do a great job at addressing your overall well-being and health. In addition to that, you guys, we have a skincare regimen that uses the same NRF2 scientific research to activate our skin. As you are aware, your skin is your biggest organ. So Protandim NRF2 allows you to activate internally. The True Science line allows you to activate externally. The healing properties in this product line are amazing. I've had such amazing results with this line, and they're paraben free. They're not tested on animals, and they're incredibly clean. We also have a hair care regime that allows you to use that NRF2 technology on your hair. So you guys, we're addressing your overall well-being, right? With these product lines. This as well has no added parabens, sulfates, silicones, gluten. It's non-GMO. It's not tested on animals. It's actually won a Stevie Award. And I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Think Dirty app, but it's an app that you can enter products that you may be fond of to really find out their toxicity rating, like how clean they are. And if you go to that app and you type in the True Science skin regimen or the True Science hair care, you'll see that the rating that they've received is that they are super clean, which is what we want, right? Now, a lot of times people go, okay, well, what does that look like visually? If I'm activating my body with NRF2, what does that look like? These are a couple examples. The dogs actually are from the same litter. They're 7 years old. One of them was NRF2 or NRF2 activated. The other one was not. And you can visually see the difference in them. Believe it or not, oxidative stress levels in dogs are even higher than humans. They accelerate at a much faster rate. The middle picture shows a woman who is using the skincare regimen in conjunction with Protandim and RF2, and you can see how wonderfully her skin is responding to the product. And on the right, you see someone who's benefiting from Protandim and RF2 internally, as well as the hair care, and the benefits that she received speak for themselves. Now, I don't know about you, but when I learn about something exciting, when I learn about something that I think is beneficial, I like to share it with people. I mean, if I find a movie that I think is incredible, I'm going to tell my friends, hey, you've got to see this movie. Or a restaurant, you know, the meal's outstanding. I'm going to tell my friends, you need to go to this restaurant. Why do I do that? Well, I just want them to benefit the way that I did, right? Like if I love it, I think that they will too. Well, I have no doubt in my mind that as I've shared some of this information on these products with you, you've thought of people who could benefit. I know I did. As I was learning about this, I'm like, oh my goodness, my mom needs this. My sister needs this. My brother, my aunt, and I just started going down the list. I'm like, oh, a lot of people need this in their life, right? But there were some things that I needed to address in addition to the amazingness of the products. Like I needed to know about the company that's behind the products. And what I found out is that LifeVantage right now is an 11-year-old company. They're headquartered out of Utah in the United States. They're publicly traded. Now, for me, that was a big deal. Publicly traded on NASDAQ. I had never done network marketing before. I had spent my whole life, my husband and I, building a name for ourselves. And I was a little concerned about partnering with a company that I didn't know anything about. But when I found out they were publicly traded, I realized, okay, they're under the same level of scrutiny as all of these other big name companies that I am very familiar with and use in business all of the time. So that gave me an inner calm. It gave me a sense of peace in knowing that and confidence. In addition to that, LifeVantage is debt-free. We also have a board of directors that are former executives from Coca-Cola Airbnb, Amazon, SC Johnson. We're talking a high level of credentials serve on our board of directors. Something else I needed to know is this product line, like, is there a need for it? Well, let me tell you, if you look statistically over the last 10 years, you'll see that statistics show a massive increase in people spending their attention, money, and time towards their health, taking a more proactive approach, a preventative approach, as opposed to, just dealing with the situation. They want to be proactive, and the trends speak for themselves. And never before in history have we seen people more concerned with their health than they are right now. So we know that these products are going to be beneficial and of interest. It's also a business that can be done from wherever you are, which makes it super convenient because we do our business from our phones and our laptops, whether that's straight from working from home, whether that's on vacation or a destination that you just want to spend some time at, wherever it may be. As long as you've got a service, you're able to do your business. We have virtual offices. We don't stock product. We don't ship product. The company ships it straight to the end user. So it makes it very freeing for someone like myself who has been in business before and had a lot of those things that kind of weigh you down. It's a very free feeling to not have all of that on your shoulders. There's also a low point of entry to get started. We share this socially. So a lot of people build this business through social media. We have an online store, so that makes it very simple to share the information. And of course, there's so many other things, daily bonuses, travel, the list goes on, but I really want you to get the idea of the flexibility that you gain with this business. The other thing so important to me was the money. And I'm just being honest, guys, because my husband and I had 6 corporations. My kids were 2 and 4. I didn't have time to spend on something that wasn't going to be worth my while. So I want to share with you the annual earnings disclosure statement. And I want to focus in on a couple ranks. The first one being our core rank here at LifeVantage, Pro 3. The average Pro 3 makes $626 US a month. Now, for a lot of people, that would relieve them of some stress. I mean, it's going to cover maybe a car payment or a phone bill, or I don't know what your bills look like. But for a lot of people, to have that little bit of extra money coming in a month would really take a load of pressure off of their shoulders. Check out our next rank that I'm going to highlight, the mid-ranked Pro 5. They have an annual earnings, an average monthly earning of $3,100 a month, which annually would be $36,000 US. Now that makes a big difference, right? I mean, that really gives you some choices as to how you're doing things in your household. A lot of times that brings one person home from work. A lot of times that is the one thing that, is alleviated. Maybe that pressure is taken on and off enough that one of the 2 individuals who currently work don't have to continue to go to a job, but can just do it, like I said, from your phone. Check out the rank of Elite Pro 7. Our Elite Pro 7s earn an average of $13,000 a month US. Wow, right? I mean, you can see that they get there in an average of 30 months. Now, I can tell you, my husband and I's traditional businesses, we did not generate that type of an income in that short a period of time, especially a leveraged income where, you're able to utilize a network of people instead of it just being on your shoulders to produce. And for us, my husband and I actually hit this rank in 18 months time. Now it varies for everybody. We had no network marketing experience, but we certainly did understand the significance of what we got our hands on and went to work and wanted to make the most of it. And as you can see, the incomes do continue to increase. So I'd encourage you, find the dollar amount that you think makes this worth your time, and then set up a plan as to how you can make that happen. This is how we get started. If you are ready to become a distributor and you go, okay, what's the next step? It's a matter of picking the pack that works for you. We've got a digital start kit that kind of gives you the starting points in your business. You are not commissionable with just the start kit. So I encourage you to pick the pack that works for you. And I'm going to tell you, I'm a little partial. No, I'm very partial to the platinum pack because it's the biggest savings. It allows you to start using the product yourself and building your own story, your own experience. And it also gives you enough extra that you can start marketing your business to those that you're sharing it with. So that is the pack that I enrolled on. And it's a great, great value. A lot of times people want to know what countries we're open for business in. It looks as though my screen is covering the Asia market up there. So if you've got interest in that, just ask the person who shared this with you and they can get you the exacts. But you guys, globally, there are under 100,000 active distributors globally. Now, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but for one, my thoughts are there's a whole lot more people who need to know about this. And there's a whole lot more people who are going to know about it and be able to take advantage of sharing that with other people. So the last question I had was, can I do this? No experience. The businesses that we were in were real estate and car business. I mean, nothing like this. But let me tell you what I found. What I found is that there's an incredible support system in place. We have global customer support. We have an easy to follow system. I didn't have to go and try to figure out how to do this. I just plugged into a system. We call it ITT. We invite to a tool and connect to the team. It's exactly how I came into the business. It's exactly how my husband and I grew to the Master Pro Rank 10 level in just over 4 years. It's a simple, simple system. We have regular team meetings and trainings that help coach you with mindset and skill set and leadership. And nowadays, a lot of it's done virtually, which makes it super simple to plug into. We have regular corporate events and trainings, incentives, private community support. The list goes on, you guys. So at this point, what do you do next? Like, what's the next step? Well, maybe you're that person who still needs some more information, and that's okay because we have no shortage of information. In fact, the challenge is keeping it short because we have so much information. So if that's you and you want more information, just ask the person who shared this with you and they'll be happy to get it to you. Or maybe you've learned enough that you're like, okay, I want to start benefiting from that product. I want to flip the switch. I'm ready. And that's fantastic because you are going to do your body a world of good by starting on these products. Or maybe you're like me and you're like, yes, I want that product, but I want in on that action too. Like I want to get in on the compensation that's being earned globally, and I can't blame you. So if that's you, again, get with the person who invited you and they will get you to that next step. They'll get you that ID number. Now, you guys, at the beginning of this presentation, I told you that I feel LifeVantage to be a solution for when life happens so that we're better equipped to deal with it, right? Let me illustrate what I mean. A friend of ours that is a business partner lives about 45 minutes from our house. And when they were introduced to LifeVantage, they were running a very large, successful nonprofit organization. They were not looking to add anything else to the plate, right? They're tapped out. But they did see the value in what they learned about LifeVantage and decided to go ahead and enroll as distributors and begin building their business. 2 years later, life happened really bad. It slapped them in the face. They received a phone call from their son's employer, who lived on the other side of the United States, saying that their son hadn't showed up for work, wasn't returning their calls. Had they heard from him? They had not. And so they, of course, quickly start trying to find out what's going on. And it turns out he had been in a horrific car accident and was in a hospital, barely hanging on for his life. And both parents, of course, did what any of us would do. They jumped on an airplane, flew over there to be by his side. And by his side is where they stayed for 2 months' time while he underwent surgery after surgery after surgery. Fortunately, the end result was good. He's healthy today, so it all turned out good. But the point is this: while they were there, they were not concerned with how they were going to pay their house payment, how they were going to pay for their cars, if they were going to lose a job because they weren't there. They were present in the moment. And the reason that they were able to be present where they needed to be was that in the 2 years prior, they had built their LifeVantage business to the rank of Pro 8. They were earning $20,000 a month when this occurred. So they were able to stay right there by their son's side, and that check continued to come in because of the leveraged income that had been created. You guys, and that's exactly what you would want. It's exactly what I would want. I would want to be present with my loved one. I would not want my finances to dictate my decisions, right? So what I've learned is that a lot of times we find excuses for putting something off. A lot of times we give reasons that, may be legitimate reasons for putting something off. But what I found is that it's the person who takes action that reaps all the rewards. It's the person that takes action that has those moments. It's the person that takes action that reaps all the results. It's time to take action. So thank you for spending this time with me here today, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.